You either use the internet for fun or you use the internet to grow. You're here to grow. Welcome to TRS Clips. Who's your best friend in the locker room?
Bray. But, man, in all honesty, everyone. The locker room is such a special place. And right now, too, the camaraderie in there is unmatched. Like, I've heard horror stories in the past with nasty stuff that guys did to each other because at the end of the day, everybody's fighting for that spot. And it's so neat to know that this locker room now, everybody, instead of fighting over that one spot that everybody wants, everyone's fighting for the company because they know if the company's doing well, that we're all going to be doing well.
What was the greatness of Bray?
Everything. Just everything. Everything about him. He was great.
Yeah. What stuck out about him as a friend?
How he was with people. He never met a stranger. He was kind to everyone. He was a family man. Like, more so what people saw on the screen was what I saw behind the scenes because we spent more time together than we do with our own families. So just being able to learn from that man and him, like, I didn't have, like, when I moved to Florida and started wrestling for WWE, like, I made more money than I ever made in my life, but it was a totally different standard of living. So living in a one-bedroom apartment with a car, with insurance and all this stuff, like, I'm living still barely surviving week to week. And when I got called up on the main roster, I didn't have enough money to pay for my hotel rooms when we went on the road. So for like the first month, Bray paid for everything for me. He bought me food. He paid for my hotel rooms, all that stuff. And then I drove him around everywhere and I learned from him. And it's just like, same thing like I talked about. There's self-made. I don't believe in that because then again, another person that reached out their hand to help me get ahead in life. And especially in like that industry where everybody's fighting for that spot. He didn't have to do that.
Selfless guy.
Yes.
Okay. And a brother's brother.
He was the brotherest of brothers.
As a professional, what was his greatness?
Just his mind. Like, to see him go in and out of these characters on the microphone, changing his verbiage, his facial expressions, what he was just, oh man, like it was just unreal, the stuff that we would talk about and just the way he ticked. He just was different in the most amazing, special ways.
Yeah. As a fan, what I noticed about him, and I watched wrestling all my life, it was his presence. He would take over the camera, like through the screen, but I'm sure then in the ring, he would also take over the ring's energy. Correct me if I'm wrong. You would know.
You're right on.
Like, yeah. You would know Bray Wyatt was there. And I think it can be easy for some wrestlers to fade away into the background during matches. With him, he was always there. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, that's what I said. He knew his character, he knew his craft, and he knew how to connect with the audience. With every different character that he went through, with the puppets, with everything, he found a way to connect with the audience, and it spoke volumes for it. I wrestled a guy together with, against everything else, and look at every hair stand up thinking about that because he was special.
I appreciate you opening up like this, man. Yeah. It's difficult to talk about a brother.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like it takes more of a man to show his emotions than to bottle it up. And I have no problem, like, being sad, being all that. And it's not even sad. Like, when I cry thinking about Bray, it's because I love him and I miss him.
Yeah. We all respect that as men here, man. Like, honestly, it takes a lot to be this vulnerable on screen. And there's just universal love for Bray Wyatt. You're just a part of that universal love, my brother.
That's what said. I wish I would have got more than 8 years with him, but I know I'll meet him again one day.
Yeah. So I'd lost my granddad last year and I had to shoot a podcast. No, thank you, bro. I had to shoot a podcast 3 days after that. Shot it with one of my idols. And I told him this. Usually I'm kind of funny on the show. I told him, I'm sorry, I'm not able to be funny right now because I just lost my granddad. And he said that, the beautiful thing about losing someone is that now you don't have to constantly tell your close ones what you're doing and where you are because they're already with you. Yeah. And they know everything and they're seeing you from upstairs rather than from another part of the city or another part of the world.
Yeah, very true. That's what it is. And it's neat because, like, I can feel him at times. Like, and things just happen and I go, I can't help but smile because I'm like, oh, that was Bray. Like, literally, I was just recently, I was visiting down a friend in Boca Grande, Florida, because I came home from my house in Wisconsin. It was like 9 degrees and snow, and I was like, I need some sunshine. I need to go to the beach. And I was sitting on the beach watching the sunset, and I started thinking about him. The next day, when I went to go to the beach, I was walking up and down the beach, and I looked up, and there was a buzzard flying around above me. whether I smelled or whatever, I stunk, and that was why he was there to eat me. But no, I have to truly believe, because that was our saying, follow the buzzards. And I just looked up and I just had to kind of nod and say, hey, thanks.
Yeah. I'm just saying this as a brother to you. Don't you think that now you're going to be taking forward that legacy?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
When the monster comes back, watch out.
New clips released at the same time that a podcast releases. This is TRS Clips. Make sure you subscribe.